Hello friends, I am Dr. Rupali Indai, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Radhabai Kale Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Ahmednagar. And today we have focused on quality of irrigation water, part 3rd. In that, we want to see the dissolved constituent and their functions present in the irrigation water. Now, these dissolved constituents are basically divided into two types. And first type or first class is major constituents, while second is the minor constituents. In major constituents, which cations or anions are present? In the cations, calcium, magnesium, sodium and potassium are considered major constituents, while anions of carbonate, bicarbonates, sulfate, chloride, nitrates, etc. are also considered major constituents. See the minor constituents. Boron, silica, nitrites, sulfide and fluorides etc. are termed as minor constituents. Now see the major constituents one by one. Calcium. It is an essential element for plant growth. It is found in almost all natural waters, soil, plant tissues and animal bones. As we know, hard water contains high concentration of calcium or magnesium or both calcium and magnesium. A calcium soil is friable and allowed to penetrate water readily and is of good structure. Calcium-rich water is desirable as hard water makes the soil soft. Second major constituent, that is magnesium. Seawater and mineral springs contain high concentration of magnesium. Natural water also contains some magnesium. The carbonates, hydroxides, oxides and phosphates of magnesium are sparingly soluble in water. It makes the water hard and has a similar effects in physical and chemical properties of soil as calcium. Then we move towards the third major constituent, that is sodium. It is an alkali metal and in seawater concentration of sodium is high. All the salts of sodium are soluble in water. Sodium, when present in exchangeable form of the soil, even at low concentration compared to other cations, it creates the unfavorable physical and chemical conditions for plant growth. Exchangeable sodium makes the moist soil impermeable to air and water, and on drying the soil becomes hard and difficult to work. Increasing amount of sodium on the exchange complex leads to formation of carbonate alkali soil. That carbonate alkali soil also called as black soil. That means sodium cause adverse effect on soil when it is present in high concentration in the irrigation water. Therefore, we want to recover alkali soil or we have to take reclamation process. How we can minimize the concentration of sodium? It involves the replacement of adsorbed sodium by calcium or magnesium, as well as leaching of sodium by irrigation. High calcium water or hard water if you use, then we can reclaim the alkali soil. As well as we can also apply gypsum in the soil. It is helpful to recover the alkali soil. Hard water makes soil soft and soft water makes soil hard. And the adverse effect of sodium in the soil is closely related to the ratio of sodium to total cations in the irrigation water. And that ratio is called as percent sodium. We can find out that percent sodium by using the formula. Percent sodium is equal to sodium divided by amount of calcium 2 plus, magnesium 2 plus, potassium plus and sodium plus and their addition multiplied by 100. By using this formula, we can find out the percent sodium. Increased concentration of sodium in irrigation water increases its concentration in soil solution also, which replace calcium and magnesium from soil complex and gives the sodic soil. Then we go for the next constituent, that is potassium. Except silicate minerals, most of the potassium salts are readily soluble in water and it readily combines with other products of weathering, particularly the clay minerals. Reaction of potassium with soil is similar to that of sodium, but its effects are not harmful and it is an essential element for plant growth also. High concentration of potassium may cause magnesium deficiency and iron chlorosis. Potassium concentration in different river water varies from 0.06 to 0.74 milligram equivalent per liter. Then we see the carbonate. Sodium carbonate is present in mineral springs, but in trace amount. If soluble carbonates are applied in irrigation water to soil in absence of calcium and magnesium, then soil becomes alkaline. If calcium and magnesium are present, then carbonate is precipitated as calcium carbonate and it has no harmful effect on soil. Sodium carbonate is undesirable in irrigation water and is extremely toxic to plant. Then we go for bicarbonate. It occurs in natural water as calcium bicarbonate and exists in solution. Evaporation or high temperature converts calcium bicarbonate to calcium carbonate due to release of carbon dioxide. Like this way, calcium bicarbonates in presence of temperature or by evaporation, they are converted into calcium carbonate with the removal of carbon dioxide and water molecule. Calcium and magnesium bicarbonates are present in solution in most irrigation water and in most cases may be present as main salt. Bicarbonates are important for irrigation purposes and tend to maintain an excess of calcium in the soil. Bicarbonates is not harmful to plants directly. Now then we see the next constituent, that is the sulfate. It has no characteristic action on soil other than to increase salinity. In presence of soluble calcium, it precipitates as calcium sulfate. If concentration of sodium chloride increases, the solubility of gypsum increases. Therefore, plants readily get sulfur in the form of sulfate. Next constituent is a chloride. All natural water contain variable quantities of chloride. Its content in stream or river water receiving industrial waste is high and may reach to toxic level. A common salt is found in high concentration in the sea and in some groundwater. All common chlorides are soluble and the concentration increases in soil solution and in drainage water. Accumulation of chloride ions in plant tissues causes toxicity. Water containing less chloride is more suitable for irrigation for all types of crops. Then we go for the next constituent, that is nitrate. Small amount of nitrate is derived from lightning discharge in the atmosphere, where the nitrogen is converted into nitric oxides, which when dissolved in rainwater form nitrous and nitric acid. All the nitrates are water soluble and can easily leached. Oxidation of nitrous organic matter and fixation of atmospheric nitrogen are the chief source of nitrate in the soil. Nitrate-rich water is good for the crop and has no harmful effect on soil. But high nitrate concentration in drinking water is an indication of pollution. As well as potassium and nitrate in irrigation water easily act and minimize the harmful effect of salinity of plant growth. Thank you.